Now turning to the situation in Gaza, the Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs reports that hostilities across the Gaza Strip continue to take a devastating toll on civilians, causing further death, displacement, and destruction of critical infrastructure. Our humanitarian partners estimate that since March 18th, about 500,000 people have been newly displaced or uprooted once more. This is in addition to the hundreds of thousands of people repeatedly displaced prior to the ceasefire. Our humanitarian colleagues tell us that tents are no longer available for distribution across Gaza. In the town of Bani Suhaila in Khan Yunis Governorate, for example, families who had recently been displaced received only modest quantities of blankets and tarpaulins. Last week, OCHA visited displacement sites in Khan Yunis. Most of the people there are living in overcrowded shelters and spoke about the lack of shelter, food, water, and medicine. Meanwhile, our humanitarian partners report a rise in acute malnutrition in the Strip. In March, the number of children who received supplementary feeding decreased by more than 2/3, according to our partners. Additionally, access constraints hinder the ability to resupply the hospitals with medical stocks, putting more patients at risk. Humanitarians are finding it increasingly difficult to operate as no aid has entered Gaza for now. We're now in the 7th week of this, and as military operations expand. Meanwhile, OCHA tells us that Israeli authorities continue to deny planned coordinated mission. Today, only 2 out of 6 planned humanitarian movements that were coordinated with the Israeli authorities were facilitated. The remaining 4 were denied, including one mission to retrieve fuel from Rafah, which, as you can imagine, is urgently needed. Despite access restrictions and insecurity, aid organizations continue to try to assist the most vulnerable. Every day, community kitchens prepare more than 1 million meals for vulnerable people across Gaza. But these quantities are hardly sufficient, as most of the 2.1 million people there rely on humanitarian aid to access food. And just a reminder that under international humanitarian law, civilians, including aid workers and medical staff, as well as their facilities, must be respected and protected, and the essential needs of civilians must be met.